Hello and good day to everyone out there in the network or the internet. Today I am bringing you a review on Castles and Crusades Mystical Companion, which was supposed to happen a while ago, but I had to keep rescheduling because I had a hard time flipping through this book. Now, what made it so hard to flip through the book? Because I kept rereading the same page 10 times. Did I not understand it? No. I just liked what I saw. So, Castle and Crusades Mystical Companions is basically a book to where each character or character class gets their own familiars and companions. Very exciting. So they got 12 chapters devoted to each and every. They got the first chapter is familiars and companions as a general because I think one character class already gets it. I'm not sure which one. Usually it's wizards, but in this case that's not really the case here. So uh, so for the first set here, um, I think the only one we're missing is knights, but I think knights get their companions somewhere around here too. So their first chapter starts off with familiars and companions in general, and then from chapter 2 through 12, they've broken down barbarian, bards, clerics, druids, fighters, monks, paladins, rangers, rogues, illusionists, and wizards. Pretty sure knights are somewhere in here too. Let me check on that. Well, knights don't get mystical companions, I don't think, because they actually start off with one, because they do get a birthright mount. But I just want to be sure that they're not in here whatso freaking ever, because it'd be my luck. Now, does this talk about companions for each and every class? Yes and no. This doesn't just talk about companions, this also talks about additional feats that you can get for your character class that actually has nothing to do with companions, that has more stuff to do with your character class. In the very first chapter, it even has new advantages and abilities that each character class can get that is actually not related, that is somewhat related and not related to companions and familiars. So that's exciting. And I believe that's all in the first chapter as well. We're not going to go through each and every one because this book can be very long. It's literally a full size book, gaming book for you to use. So there is rules for barbarian familiars and special mounts, bard familiars, clerics, druids. You get the idea. There's one for each familiar and mounts. Even paladins, illusionists, and wizards. So with that said, after you get through the first, by the way, that whole part is within the first 137 pages of the book. And then that's pretty much the whole book right there. Then you have the appendixes. Well, Appendix A adds additional animals that you can use for hunting, companions, familiars, and or just straight up, like I said, hunting, basically battling out. Such as deer. You need to go out and kill a deer for food or something. And then we move down to the next book that the next thing this book has to offer. Um, we're still on animals. The animals goes from page 138 straight down to uh boy 150. That's like 12 pages. 12 pages of animals. That's a lot for, especially when all they do is talk about, think of it as the animal section is set up like the monster manual. So you could put in there's a lot of animals in there. So you could put in a lot in there in 12 pages. Especially if you change the size and whatnot. And then Appendix B, they give you some additional monsters, gives you some additional rules for monsters and familiars. So that's pretty cool. Um, my favorite is the Muse, which is a special familiar that a bard gets. That's my favorite, and that goes from page 150 on straight down to whew, very freaking far. River Nymph. Well, you gotta love a river nymph. Jeez, I think this is 12 pages. Nope. Still flipping here. Holy crap. This is just the the new monsters and treasure section. My other favorite is Reaper. They did add in a Reaper monster that actually simulates stuff like the Grim Reaper. So that's actually kind of cool. Starts off, its base hit dice is 4. So it starts off as a level 4 creature. Of course, you can always adjust it to support yourself, but it has a D8 hit dice. The homunculus. They actually have a lot of them, like bone homunculus, shadow homunculus, a wizard's puppet. That's funny. All right, and that actually finally stops after 19 pages. Then you get some new spells that you get to use, which that starts on page 170, but I think it only goes to like 171, so it's only like 2 pages. And then in the middle of 171, you get new items and artifacts that you actually get to do. My favorite one, I think I like the most, is the Collar of Demeanor. It actually adds in Demeanor, I believe, is a Greek god, Greek deity, so it adds in some stuff there. And the magical items, they stem from 171. And I think that's through the rest of the book, to be honest. Nope, 175, so that's only 5 pages. Then, my personal favorite is the back section, the last section. The last section from 177 all the way to the end of the book talks about dragon riders. How is it that you can get a dragon familiar? It talks about dragon riders and familiars. It talks about dragon riders versus dragon familiars. And then it talks about the path of the dragon rider. Becoming a dragon rider in game. So, yep. Talks about the first thing you have to do is so in that, it has that listed in stages, and that's through the rest of the book, I do believe. This section I spent a lot of time on because who doesn't want to become a dragon rider, right? So they did add chromatic dragons. So they did add in draconic races, chromatic dragons. Let's see what else they did. And then they did add in each chromatic dragons. What? I wonder if chromatic dragons are the default dragons. They might be. And then they talk about each of the dragon layers, you finding dragons and creating bonds with them as well. And they go through each different color. They do chromatic dragons, they do metallic dragons, which is usually the brass dragons, the bronze dragons, the copper dragons, the gold dragons, silver. Those are always fun to play. So, yeah, that pretty much covers all of that. The whole thing is about usually familiars and companions and how to get them, where to get them, how to find them. And then it does add in some additional stuff near the end there, like what we just talked about, spells, new types of monsters, new types of animals that you can get. It gives you all the basis for that to add to your game. So the next thing I guess we need to talk about is this really important for you to have? That depends on you. That depends on you as a player. Now for me, yeah, this was important to have because this gives you a bunch of brand new advantages and stuff that you can add to your game. And I'm sorry, I do like the idea of everyone having a companion and being leveled out, or well, not leveled out, but on the same level basically. So I do like that. The reason it took me so long was the first chapter. Strangely enough, it was the first and the last chapter that really actually nailed me because from chapters 2 all the way down to 12 is pretty much written the same, and appendix A through E are not the same, but I did take an extra look at the appendixes. But yeah, chapter 1 and appendix A through E is what took me so long to get through the book. Chapters 2 through 12, once I read through chapters 2 to 4 very carefully, and then from 5 to 12, I kind of figured out, well, it's kind of like the same thing. It's all written in the same format. There's certain steps that you have to take to gain a familiar or a companion. Certain types of rituals, certain types of sacrifice, certain, just a lot. There's a lot in there. I do recommend checking it out. And we do have some art that we're going to take a look at here in just a hot second. I'm just going through some things just to see if there's anything I'd like to point out. And I don't think there is, actually. And each one also has, how to teach your familiar and your companion tricks, especially if it's just a regular animal companion. And it has them all separated by terrain, temperature, like the environment around them. So it's very good. And it actually has them separated in standard, medium, and greater. It has like 3 stages of familiars, like standard familiar, medium familiar, which is like better than standard, or even lesser familiar, which is better than standard but not as good as greater. Then they have greater. So they do. It's just a lot to go through. No. I'm sorry. It's standard familiar, greater familiar, and supreme familiar. There it is. I'm glad I actually went through this book to actually distinguish that. And that's really what the first chapter really talks about. And, summoning rituals and stuff like that to get your familiars and your compatibility. Familiars have alignments too. So, yeah. And they also tell you if they don't have them in this book or they don't have them in the monster manual, they tell you where they come from. They actually have them listed on, this can be found in Appendix A, this can be found over in the Monsters and Treasures Manual or the Monsters and Treasure Manuals of Arid. They haven't gone too far off those ones. So I'm actually pretty much going to be picking up the Monsters and Treasure Manual of Arid, which unless you're going to run a game in Arid, it's not going to really play much of a factor for you. For me, it's a much of a factor because I'm a GM, and I might want to bring some Arid creatures into my own realm. Alright. So, time to show off some artwork here. Very first artwork I'm going to show off is the beginning. Because I love showing off the artwork for the beginning. Look at that. Look at that. That is supreme artwork there. I think I paid like $30 for both the physical and the PDF. So I bought the combo, of course. I like buying the combos because you just get money for them. You get your money's worth out of them. You really do. This just shows a bunch of people with companions. I'm not sure. That looks like that could be a ranger with an eagle companion resting on what looks to be a small rock over a damn cliff. No thank you. You can pay me to do that. In real life, or in any life for that matter. And now he's falling. I don't think that's the same guy. But that's all between... Oh, no, he's trying to get those eggs. He's probably a barbarian. See... Here, I'm skipping fast. Let me show you some brief information. Typical plainsmen totems. For barbarians, they get plainsmen totems, which helps them gain their familiars as well. I'm here to show off some artwork. Let's move on to the rogue. Look at that. Someone's riding their familiar or their companion up to take on... Well, that looks like to be like some form of weird snake with wings or a dragon. So that's pretty cool. And let me get near the rest here. I'm just going to zoom all the way down because that was the animal section. Because I do want to show off a bit of... Before we get too long into this... Here, I'm going to put this off. Due to copyright issues, I don't want people saying I'm showing off information for free. Sorry, but no, I'm not that kind of guy. Let's see if I can find one more thing for you. This book is well worth the buy. if you do buy it, you will not be disappointed. And if you are disappointed, then obviously it wasn't for you particularly. But this to me is for anyone who's a real game master and that wants to dive into, pretty much anything. Oh man, let me do the druid. Did the druid come up? The druid's okay. Oh man, there was one in here that actually had a really nice piece of art that I wanted to show off. Might be wizard. Oh, they merged the wizard and illusionist together. They didn't even put a piece of artwork in between them. Huh. Okay. Guess not all got pieces of artwork. Nope. Where is it? That's the rogue. Chapter 10 is the rogue. Was it the ranger then? Oh man. There was, anyway, one of the pieces of artwork that I wanted to show off, which was really, really nice. Um, oh, maybe it's around the Dragon Rider, actually. Let me check that. Nope. Maybe between that? Nope. What I'm trying to show you guys is they actually had a picture of a girl standing with a white dragon. That was one of the ones I wanted to show off because I thought that was really, really nice. Maybe it's in the monk section. Oof, that one is actually... Here's another nice one. Another nice piece of artwork here that's very enticing. Well, it looks to be a monk with her ferret. Nice fighter taking on a creature there. Barbarian. Haha. Maybe it's in the cleric section. No. No. It's weird because I'll find it. I'll find it I'll find that piece of art when I end the stream. So we've been going on for 20 minutes. I showed off some good art. Showed you guys some good information. It's well worth checking into, I feel. If you don't feel that it's worth checking into, I guess I do apologize because then it's not really for everyone. I will be posting the link to this book directly from Troll Lord Games in here so you guys can go take a look for yourselves. And pretty much, figure out if it's worth for you to buy or not. I think it is. It's definitely well worth the money. I am not displeased whatsoever about this one bit. I'm very, very happy. I gotta get with someone because I've been trying to leave reviews on their website for days, and it seems like every time I try to leave a review, it won't go through. So I don't know what's going on. I gotta get a hold of Troller Games about that. But well, that's everything that I have for today. This went on for 20 minutes, so I'm not going to take up any more of anyone's time. So the Book of Mystical Companion, is it worth the buy? Hell yeah. And I do believe, and I'm actually going to look it up right now, the price for you. Let's see here. Mystical Companion. Here we go. Castles, Crusades, Mystical Companion. Alright, so right now, if you go for the digital, it's on sale. Alright, so the digital version of Mystical Companion only, digital only, is $5. If you do the print, it is currently $29.99. And then if you do the print digital combo, it is currently $12.50. I was the one that spent the $12.50 for the print and digital combo. I'm glad they had that there because I actually bought both. I bought the print and the digital. I bought the combo, so it's definitely worth the buy. So, and I have not been able to I have not sorry, I was just reading something. Um Yep, pretty much definitely worth the buy. It's actually even on there. It's got a 4.5 star rating. And it looks like we're not going to talk into we're not going to go into like the mechanics of what happened because that's why it only has 4.5 stars. So that's for you guys to see on your own time. So I will be posting this description in I will be posting this link in my description so you guys can check it out. Uh, well, for those who tuned in, if anyone did, thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate that. That's all the time we're going to take up today. And for those who have not tuned in, I hope you enjoyed what you see here today. If you did enjoy what you see here today, please go to my channel. Please leave a like and subscribe. I do have more stuff coming right at you guys on my channel regarding more Castles and Crusades coming up in the near future. We are getting close to the actual play. We do have an actual play of Castles and Crusades coming out December 16th, 2022, and that is in 10 days. So stay tuned on my Twitter page. We do have more coming up. All right, well, everyone, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in if they did. Once again, work hard, play hard, game on, everybody. Have a great and wonderful day.